Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the LovelyTi TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the LovelyTi TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Bunnie Xo and Jelly Roll, I'm like, they're getting exposed, child. They're out here, a lot of, especially young white girls in Tennessee, in the South, they look up to Bunnie. You know what I'm saying? Because Bunnie is an escort stripper. She was in the what you call it, the sex work industry, and she managed to turn her life around and get herself a good old husband. And you know what I'm saying? Stop selling puss, and she's now Christian. She's been healed. She's been healed of selling coochie. Can I get an amen? Let me stop. That's what she said. Those are her words. She got rid of that coochie selling spirit, okay? So, y'all know, so I think it goes back to the Grammys. A lot of folks had to come for me. Now, I said I was not feeling his Grammy speech. He got up there doing all this talking, about God and, the Bible. He was doing some good old Southern preaching, okay? And when they asked him about ICE, all of a sudden he was a dumb redneck. So at that point, that pissed me off. Because my thing is, you can't serve two masters, okay? You can't be sitting here talking about got this, got that, doing all this preaching. And then when they ask you something as basic as, where's your stance on ICE? Even if he said he was for ICE, I would at least respected that. But he's like, oh, I'm not into politics. I'm just a dumb old redneck. I don't know too much. I come from a crackhead house, and my mama was a crackhead, and, we didn't talk about politics. And I'm like, oh, really? I'm confused because you did a whole series with Chelsea Handler where you were very articulate. You spoke about politics. Hell, you got some things changed in the Senate. You know what I'm saying? You even you were able to get your criminal record expunged. Because he used to be a dope dealer and was in and out of prison and things like that. So you know politics, okay? You know what you want to know. So that kind of annoyed me. And so after that, it seemed like people started doing some digging. So if y'all don't know, Jelly Roll has been beefing with Ryan Upchurch for years. At least a good 2 years. They used to rap together back in the day. There were a bunch of white boys who rapped down in Tennessee. And so Ryan felt like Jelly Roll sold out because you was a rapper with braids and, not saying that you can't grow, but it seemed like you went from being, I'm going to be independent and do my rap thing, to then he flipped it, went country. And so they kind of been beefing. So about a year ago, Ryan Upchurch had posted this video exposing Jelly Roll. But a lot of people dismissed it. They're like, oh, Ryan Upchurch is a hater. You know what I'm saying? He's just mad because he's not where Jelly Roll is at. Well, after that Grammy speech and him pissing off a lot of people, okay, especially in the South, a lot of folks felt the way. They went back to Ryan Upchurch's video and people started taking notes, bitch. Okay, people pulled out their pen and pad and started taking notes. And he said some really disturbing things in this recording. Now, granted, this was a secret recording. He didn't know he's being recorded. But Jelly Roll, this when he was fat. Now he's Jelly Bean. But he was acting like he was the Godfather. Acting like he was just the Don of country music. And so in there, he talks about how his wife, Bunnie Xo, is his Ghislaine Maxwell, and he's the Jeffrey Epstein. And, Bunnie is his cleanup woman. And then he also talked about how he wants Ryan to get on his team and how they're going to infiltrate country music. He said he don't give a fuck about country music. He's there basically to get a bag. They're there to infiltrate. So this was very interesting listening to all this tea that he was spilling. He ain't know he was being recorded. And if y'all don't know now, him and Bunnie, they're trying to segue away from the country music scene and they're trying to get into Christian music now. You see how a lot of these white artists, they can hop from genre to genre? You see when he was big old fat, Jelly Roll, he was rapping. So he got a rapper bag. Black folks supported him. Then he used that support to segue into country music. The country folks was really, really supporting him. And now that he's slim and trim, Because you know, you can't be a gluttonous slob and be a Christian, singer, I guess. I don't know. Gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. So now he done lost all that weight. I believe it's Ozempic. But let him tell it he was working out twice a day. Okay, sir, if you say so. Now he's slim and trim. Now he's trying to segue into Christian pop music or, Christian music. And so it's just another grift. So now he's being like really, really caught out. Okay, somebody said he done went from jelly roll to grape jelly. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. Y'all be thinking all the drama being hip hop. Telling y'all, start getting into all these other genres, boo. There be a lot of tea, a lot of dirt going on. And just like with the whole, the MAGA folks over there on the right, they got all their little drama going on. Country music, they got a lot of drama. See, country music, they know how to keep their drama behind the scenes. Hip-hop drama is messy. First thing we do is go to social media, tell all our business. We're going to be cussing out our baby daddy. We're going to be talking about the side chicks. We're going to be, bringing receipts. They don't do that in country music. All their drama be behind the scenes. So you got to kind of put stuff together like a puzzle. But Ryan Upchurch, he don't care. He has no chill. So we're going to watch these clips that I've gathered. We're going to see Ryan Upchurch is now saying that he's being threatened by Jelly Bean, which is interesting because, like I said, this video's been out, but it's garnered new steam because of the Epstein files and because people started digging like, you know what, let's go back and rewatch that video because we're starting to see some fakeness in Jelly Roll. A lot of people been peeped it, but people been seeing it more. And also people are accusing Bunnie of being a witch. You can't keep screaming all this stuff about being a good Christian wife, but you're also dabbling in witchcraft. So they've been accusing her of being a witch. She talks about witchcraft a bit too much for a lot of the Christian listeners, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get this. We're going to sip on this country music tea real quick here. Go ahead and pull up this. Let's start with like this little mini breakdown. And then I'll play a clip from Ryan. Because he put this up like 2 days ago. He says Jelly Roll threatened him. But let's start with a little backstory here.
Ryan Upchurch is claiming that he has more of the video to release on Jelly Roll and them showing up unannounced at his house at 2 a.m. that he released last time. That it's like almost a 15-minute conversation of all of the boys showing up at his house and Jelly Roll and Ryan having a conversation. And Ryan claims that during that conversation, they claimed that he had to go with them. You have to sign. You have to come with us. They'll give you like $100 million. This is what Ryan says. Now, a lot of people say that Ryan's crazy, and a lot of people say that he just did not side with the bad part of the music industry, which is known as like the Hollywood side. He didn't sign with that, and that's why Jelly Roll got big and he didn't. Now, that's what Ryan claims. Everybody else just claims that he's off his rocker and he's crazy. He's on something. It's just kind of split. But Ryan's been saying this for years. Ryan just says that he knows something up. Y'all are weird, he says, talking about Jelly and the other people. He says, you're even selling your bar. That was quick. So he's very opinionated on this situation, and he is not going to stop talking anytime soon, I don't think.
So like I said, Ryan has been blasting Jelly Roll for a while. It's just that now the nosy folks are running back to get the tea ever since the Grammys, okay? So this is what Ryan posted yesterday, or 2 days ago, I believe, saying that he was being threatened. So give me just a second here. I believe this is the video. We're just going to watch a small bit of this. We're not going to watch the whole thing. So if I scroll up, you see where he says here, Jelly Roll threatened me. I love white-on-white crime.
Freaks' names. But I do know this. This whole backing up criminals who ain't setting a good example for anybody, who can't do nothing for themselves, we gotta stop idolizing these motherfuckers. If they're not gonna take up for kids and women, what the you think they're gonna take care of anything? Do you think they're gonna take up for anything? No. Women, y'all need to start speaking up. Let me tell you why. Because you run the world, okay? When you say something, everyone cares. Everybody looks. Us guys out here, we have to. That's our job. So as bad as all these Epstein files and all this shit that's going on in our own towns, own states, nobody's gonna listen to you women speak up and say something. Till y'all say, hey, that's a problem. Because y'all are the fuel for us men to get done. If you women out there, you good women, if y'all got a problem, that means we got a problem. But that's the thing, we got to have a problem together. And nothing's going to change until that happens. These kids aren't going to stop idolizing people who got 30 fucking armed robbery charges, that are getting pardoned, that are on Joe Rogan, that, you know, deflated themselves on Ozempic. That's who everybody's going to keep looking up to. Somebody's tell my mama, my daddy, my brother, my uncle. That's got to be over with. There's a lot of people who are really starting to speak up, and I'm glad, because this can't go on like this. You mean to tell me, smelly hole jelly roll, who's got 30 gajillion charges or whatever, violent charges with like weapons in. You mean to tell me that guy gets like pardoned or whatever, and then just a year ago, this mother showing up at my house, I got a whole flash drive I had to turn into the cops because this mother, I'm gonna pull up to his mom's house, I'm gonna shoot this dude and shoot everything about this dude, like trying to act like a gangster. Like, dude, grow up. All this.
I told you there'd be a lot of white on white crime that y'all be missing. Okay. He said Jelly Roll pulled up like a fat gangster and tried to shoot him.
This stupid gotta stop. All this covering up for criminals gotta stop. All this covering up for pedophiles gotta stop. It's all gotta stop. It's time for everybody to start saying what you feel about this shit. Because if not, all of our kids are gonna grow up in the most up America that we never seen. Is that what you want? It's not what I want. And the thing is I know it's like everybody's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. You have to. You have no choice. You live here. You have to talk about it, or this kind of shit is going to consume you. It's going to consume our country. He's really not. He's really not what? Who? Me? Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, I know. These are weirdos. John Rich is a dude, man, don't get me started on John Rich. Dude, these people are weirdos, dude. You seen what Tim Burchett said? Talking about how it's some weird satanic that will shock the world. Well, it probably is, but we need to know about it. Like, hello, we need to know about it. And why the fuck is all this being redacted? You're redacting, like, who these emails are to and from or whatever. And the description in this is sickening. No, that we want to know who these people are. Men out there, don't y'all want to know who these people are? Women, don't y'all want to know who they are? I sure want to know who they are. Like I said, if you ain't gonna take up for women and children, what the you gonna take up for?
Okay, so that is his rant. So we're gonna go ahead and watch some of these TikToks. Everybody's talking about this situation. Like I said, this is the hottest thing. Yeah, so like I said, a lot of this drama has been brewing for a while. Now, I mean, I don't know if y'all have never been down south, if y'all never seen the Confederate flag. Everybody keeps saying, y'all don't see the Confederate flag in the back? So yeah, a lot of y'all ain't never been down south, because that's not my first time ever seeing the Confederate flag. I don't know if y'all want me to go to his house and take it down. Like, what do y'all want me to do? Enjoy the tea, okay? So, now let's go ahead and go on to TikTok. And a lot of people are now putting two and two together, and they're saying that Jelly Roll is now who he proclaims to be, that he's basically sold his soul. He doesn't even look the same. And a lot of people have been saying that he basically sold out to the industry. So it's very interesting now that they're doing these deep dives on country music the same way they were doing on hip hop. Remember, it was always the hip hop Illuminati videos and Jay-Z, and now it's Jelly Roll. It's another J. Instead of Jay-Z, it's Jelly Roll, okay? So the country music folks, they're coming up with their own conspiracies So it used to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now it's Jelly Roll and Bunnie, which is funny. J and B. Isn't that ironic? So now, yes, W. Wilson, I got a burner. I sure do got a burner phone. I always got to have a burner phone, child. All right, so let me go ahead and pull up these videos here.
Jazz music, rock and roll, etc., etc., what makes you think that they would skip country music? A lot of people have noticed how Hollywood celebrities look nothing like they ever did before. Millions of people are noticing that Jelly Roll lost hundreds of pounds pretty much overnight and is now unrecognizable. I have seen so many trending videos stating that Bunnie is his handler, and was saying that she stated, "When people think your husband is a clone because he lost weight and his tattoos don't match." If you want to know if somebody in the industry is infiltrated, just look at their behaviors. Watch who they surround themselves by. Watch what they do in front of thousands and thousands of people. I mean, if
Y'all notice the symbolisms? The devil horns, the one-eye symbolism. So, I mean, these white folks are holding their own accountable. About damn time, because y'all love going in on hip-hop. I'm here for all this country music Illuminati tea, okay?
it very well could be, guys, that he's giving the Erica Kirk I love you sign. Like I said before, if you want to know how deep somebody is in the industry, look who they're surrounded by. And actually listen to what they're
Funny enough, look at him and Jay
saying when they're making statements.
Just see standing there is this album called Beautifully Broken. And man, if that doesn't represent what's happening in the world right now, I think more than ever, is that I think we can find beauty in what's happening.
If that doesn't totally wrap up how detached the rich are from the poor, I don't know what will. People are being removed from their health insurance companies. Their health insurance is doubling and tripling. People can't pay for their groceries. People are going homeless. People are shutting off their electric. Children are being separated from their families. Families are being displaced all over the world. People are losing their lives on a daily basis from Gaza to Nigeria, but we'll see the beauty in everything, I'm sure, eventually. These people never stand with their people. You see what I'm saying?
How do you really feel about the Grammys? Because I know a lot of artists give the Grammys a lot of shit. The truth is, I feel honored. I feel extremely grateful that the Recording Academy even considered us. And
oh, I bet you were stunned. And then I stumbled across this thread of videos of Upchurch Redneck exposing Jelly Roll, pretty much stating that Jelly Roll showed up to his house unannounced and gave him a little advice on which side to choose. That's for part 2. All of this is getting crazy.
Footage of Jelly Roll chilling at Ryan Upchurch's house, where he literally admits that he's the Epstein of the friend group, or the Maxwell of the friend group, I can't remember.
How did Jeffrey Epstein happen? With much work and help. Just like Jeffrey Epstein, Ryan Upchurch has Jelly Roll and his wife to handle his dirty work.
Strangely enough, I also just saw some body.
Did y'all peep that? That was part of the video that Ryan Upchurch recorded. He said that he is the Jeffrey Epstein and Bunnie is Ghislaine Maxwell. And they can handle all the dirty work, make things disappear, make his problems go away.
Body cam footage from a police officer going to Ryan Upchurch's house because Ryan has found a cell phone that doesn't belong to him in his truck that was linked to his iCloud account, but the phone was not his at all and was nobody in his friend group or in any of his circle of people.
That I'm already talking to Jim about via this big fucking case of shit that I got here. Tell him how this got out.
Okay, so other day was messing around outside riding bikes around stuff with my kid. Went to start up the truck that he gave me, let it run for a little bit so the battery don't die. I got to just piddling in it while I was sitting in it looking through shit, and then I found that phone. I left it in there, and then I said something about it earlier or whatever. I was like, hey, I found another iPhone in the snitches. He was like, what phone? I have all my phones. So I go back to my house, I plug it in, turn it on. After I turn it on, I hook it up to my hotspot, and it pretty much logs itself out of the Apple ID.
Okay, who made the Apple ID?
I made the Apple ID.
Okay, here's the problem. This phone, and he set up, there's a card hooked to it. There's what? A MasterCard. There is no record of me having a MasterCard, anything to do with a MasterCard. My cards aren't MasterCards. And I really want to find out how there's a MasterCard on here and who does he go to. Because these guys that have put these names on here and tried to get me to switch these accounts, I was told to tell them no, so I told them no. I said, I'm not fucking doing that. So that's part of all this shit. And now we got this thing popping up with a MasterCard on it. And if you go talk to the sheriff and them, you'll know that I turned in a bunch of cards that ended up in my mail with a letter. They said someone's trying to frame you for fraud. They have that filed down there at the sheriff's office.
I'm trying to figure out how the picture. So how the phone? Do you know how the phone got in the truck? No, that's the big question. But the truck sits out front of my house. I live in like a little neighborhood, not very nice. It's not gated. Or so have y'all ever seen this phone before?
No, I've never seen this phone.
Dude, I see it around the box, man. Yeah.
Now, I saw a lot of comments under this body cam footage of people saying, well, it looks like the Illuminati is after Ryan Upchurch. Yeah, pal, you had the Illuminati chilling right in your house. Now, we all know Jelly Roll can't move that fast to get some unknown cell phone up in somebody's truck. But don't forget, these celebrities don't arrive alone. They usually come with a circle of people, assistants, etc., etc. I'd put money on it's one of Jelly Roll's people that put that cell phone in that truck. Because all it takes is the connections to be able to have somebody literally use that cell phone as a listening device, or worse. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments.
So, do y'all see it's getting real? I'm talking about the country music conspiracies are being cranked out. They want to know what's up. People are saying that Ryan Upchurch is in danger. They're planting bugs in his car. You know, they're saying that big old, well, no, he's slim now, Jelly Bean and Bunnie Xo and their peoples are behind this. And, you know, they're saying that Jelly Roll is a plant. Since Bunnie worked as an escort, she has all types of connections. She could have been one of Epstein's girls. There's I'm telling you, there's so many damn rabbit holes with this story. It is insane. But it's very interesting seeing it from like a country music angle because we always see these videos based around hip hop and black folks. So we're going to watch a few more.
Those who gave me shit about Jelly Roll when I said he was garbage. Okay, so Ryan Upchurch just uploaded this.
You know, I consider you a friend in music, but you're not somebody I hang out with every day, like these three guys.
Yeah, well, I don't hang out with none of my friends every day. I'm a grown man with kids and shit. I don't have to hang out with anybody every day. Yeah.
I'm not.
If you ever have kids, you'll have a holy.
I ain't never having kids.
Yeah, well, I don't suggest it either. They suck.
All right, but anyway, 5 motherfuckers blow my phone talking about, hey, they looking for y'all and this. I said, look, they don't even know where we live, don't have no address, none of that shit.
And I never fuck with nobody, church, that I think you have real problems with.
Did y'all hear what he just said? Never have kids because they suck. But if you know anything about Jelly Roll, he's always talking about his daughter and how Bunnie's a great stepmom and how he regrets not having been there for her because he was, you know, selling drugs and then out of jail. Like he's always talking about his daughter. So now to hear him say that kids suck, it's like, wait, not the man who's always toting being a good father, you know, he's in the best phase of his life because now he can pay his daughter all this attention. But behind the scenes, he's saying that kids suck. You can't make this up.
And more than shit doesn't seem like a real problem. The Nicole Hart was a real problem. We see how I handled that. I'm going to get sued. You really didn't see the video. We're calling it Operation Infiltration. We're going to take over. We're going to get a building down. We're going to take over that street. Quiet and humble. We're going to beat them from the inside out, not the outside in. We're going to come in and take over this fucking guy. I'm fixing to go in and fuck country people. I'm fixing to go in and show them something that this is going to be a...
Did y'all hear that? He said, we're going to take over from the inside out. I'm fixing to take over country music. Fuck country music. This is everything he's saying behind the scenes. He doesn't realize he's being recorded. So this just shows you how these industry plants work. I don't care if it's country music, if it's rap music. People are planted. They have these cool backstories. The audience falls for it. But behind the scenes, they're being planted there. He says we are infiltrating from the inside out. That is insane.
Wow, it is big. Now, for real, man, I'm going to go on the phone to my other phone. Nicole Hart was exact words. You ready for this, y'all? In caption. How did Jeffrey Epstein happen? With much work and help. Just like Jeffrey Epstein, Ryan Upchurch has Jelly Roll and his wife to handle his dirty work. Here's a video of Jelly Roll. This is on the internet, dog. It's at millions of views. You see it? This is fucking like the big vibe. It's insane. We got a
walk. It's like a charity event.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm filming, and Jelly Roll's like, I don't give a fuck. Epstein?
Or she called you Epstein, but she called me Giselle. You did better than me. Jesus Christ.
Apparently Epstein and Maxwell are a joke. Apparently this is just locker room talk.
So everybody just automatically, he's a great dude.
Never once in my 23 years of parenting did I ever say that my kids suck. Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell are not conversations to joke over in order to get you some bro approval. You're a piece of shit, Jelly Roll. Just like I already said, just like we all already knew. The only thing you're fucking missing is the red hat. Might as well go ahead and fucking wear it. For all those who...
I am here for all of this white on white crime. Call them out, child. Clock it. All right, let's go to the next one.
This clip.
And I haven't said anything. I've just been looking like what is going on.
Now check this shit out.
On top of this, you gotta think, bro. There's stuff on there.
I'm finna clip it out and I'm gonna put it on here. Guess what Jelly says? Jelly says, "Yeah, man, I'm like Ghislaine Maxwell." Excuse me, what? What in the fuck? I didn't even realize he said that. He said, "I'm like Ghislaine Maxwell." If I'm lying, take me to court, fat skinny fuck. I'm not. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. I'm posting it so everybody can see you say that you're like Ghislaine Maxwell.
Did he just call him a fat skinny fuck? What the hell?
You fucking weird motherfucker. Dude.
Oh, wait. Okay, here goes another clip here. Oh, let me fix this one. Put it on this. There we go. I'm telling you, they've been going in these past 3 days, child. We've been having good discussions about it on Discord, too.
You guys have heard me say on the podcast before that I have like witches that do my monthly spells and stuff like that. I had witches who did spell work for me.
We're calling it Operation Infiltration. We're going to take over. We're going to get a building down there. We're going to take over that street. Quiet and humble. We're going to beat them from the inside out, not the outside in. We're going to come in and take over this fucking guy. I'm fixing to go in and fuck country. This is going to be a problem.
At his BMI #1 country record radio party, sit up there and talk like we're talking right now. Calling them motherfuckers, drinking, smoking, acting exactly how he
in
acts.
the lobby of BMI, got a tattoo.
Had a tattoo on it,
talking
lobby of
about
BMI.
the real ones are here and more on the way. Be different than you. You got to look at me like, y'all, we finally got one of us there. Jelly hadn't changed. Send me that screenshot. Let my wife nip that bitch in the ass, dog. My wife is a fucking savage gangster bitch that sold pussy, dude. She will clear somebody. How did Jeffrey Epstein?
Dude said, my wife, you know what? Objection. Jelly says, my wife is a fucking savage gangster bitch who sold pussy. She will clear a motherfucker. You can't make this shit up. Okay, this is how they, but this is the same man that was on stage crying tattoo tears, had the Bible in his hand. Praise him. Praise him. And y'all was coming at me for not buying the bullshit that he was saying at the Grammys. But now we see him behind the scenes, how he really gets down, okay?
Thing happened with much work and help. Just like Jeffrey Epstein, Ryan Upchurch has Jelly Roll and his wife to handle his dirty work.
They say you will know them by their fruits. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Matthew 7:15-18, child. All right, so we got some clips for that ass. We're going to keep going. Let's see here. Here go another clip. Oh, they've been going in on TikTok. Now, this one was earlier in the year, but I thought this was very fitting.
Why don't you allow your comments to be replied to in videos, bro? Bunnie Xo. Why do you not allow that? You know what I'm saying? Because I'd speak directly to you, dude, because I am calling y'all out. I don't care anymore, bro. I really don't, dude. After this videos, all these videos went viral, etc., and y'all came at me the way you did. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, dude. That man ain't no Christian, bro. That contemporary crossover bullcrap that he did in the country music inside of the Christian artist and getting all the rewards, dude, he don't live a Christian life, homie, and you don't either. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, dude, when it comes to the real true Bible and the way that we are supposed to live for God, y'all don't. You don't. You're not the shining examples on the hill, bro. You're not. What you're doing is usurping the contemporary Christian God frequency to lead people into Satanism. That's why all the symbolism is put up, and that's why the black eyes, and that's why the transformation happened after the black eye. We see you, bro. Man, we ain't stupid anymore. Freemasons run the world, and Jelly Roll's one of them. Bunnie, why don't you allow you...
I know that's right. They are going in on white TikTok, child. All right, then we heard that one. Let me see. Okay, let's see what Ryan got to say. He was ranting about something.
Dude, what are the main states for child trafficking and sex trafficking? New York and California? Well, listen to this.
Okay, we can't play the music.
Fucking dudes in first class on a flight from New York to Los Angeles. And by the way, why don't you look into the music industry shit in the Epstein files that involves Nashville? Also, look up Vanderbilt. Hey, John Rich, where'd those pictures go of Google with you and a bunch of random black babies? Fuck all y'all! We're not scared of y'all. You know, thanks to Justin Bieber, shout out to Justin Bieber, who's trying to out this shit as well. Don't you think it's weird that he outed the thing about the train cars that get moved through the night and put on ships that are full of kids and women? Okay, well, here's you another Jason Aldean song, buddy. Let me get this straight. This is a song about trains, but the first thing you see is a fucking 18-wheeler. Now, look how many 18-wheelers that are not trains look how many 18-wheelers he travels with.
Damn, he can't keep playing this music. Come on, Ryan.
And my shows look like y'all's shows. If not, they look more fucking elaborate than y'all's. Say Jason Aldean on them. 9 of them.
Okay. Ryan is going off. He's trying to play all these clips from these different country artists to match, you know, the stuff that the conspiracy that he's coming up with. I don't want to keep playing music and getting flagged. All right, let's go. Here go another person going in, child.
You guys have heard me say on the podcast before that I have like witches that do my monthly spells and stuff like that. I had witches who did spell work for white trash witches.
No shit, really?
They all had a gift and they were all deemed mentally unstable. I get visions all the time of stuff. I've predicted deaths.
The evidence is right there, guys. And when you're a person that practices witchcraft, the dark art, Santeria, Santa Marta, voodoo, roots, all this black magic stuff has all the same master, and it's Satan himself. And when you get into Hollywood and the music industry and you make practices like this, you are going to be rewarded and used. And that's what's happening with Bunnie. She's been rewarded with her big, huge podcast that's been blowing up for years. And she's been used to control Jelly Roll. The non-believer, I would expect to get caught up in the nonsense. But a believer, Christians, we need to read our Bibles and get solid in our doctrines. Paul's epistles goes all through this, that when people come out and they proclaim the name of Jesus, you should be watching what their lives are producing when they're doing stuff like that. Because if they're producing evil, if they're producing stuff that's not of God, it's not of God.
You guys have heard me say on the podcast.
All right, it's getting real, child. Okay, here go another clip.
The 100 million, I'll just sign here. Obviously, this can't be jelly. Take a look at those eyes. That's like saying that yay is still yay. Yeah, okay. So once we understand the nature of reality, and once you get to this certain level of fame, you sold out. Now they're trying to get Upchurch to sell out as well, okay? And this is the name of the game. Once you sell out, hey, once Billy and Bobby are on that dope, we gotta get everybody else on that dope too. And all Upchurch is trying to do, he's like, hey, listen, man, I got a somewhat of a message, kind of hope, and not so much the dope, okay? I need you to keep your dope and your black magic, your occult ritual signing seals. Listen, once you start to understand witchcraft and how it works, the occult as well as black magic, this is what you start to recognize. Is that you have the main handler or Satan worshiper, usually it's going to be a woman, and they are going to be handlers for the people that they're going out with. And I say people because oftentimes the handlers, they got multiple husbands. Now, Jelly Roll, he might have been a good guy. He didn't sell out at first, independent, all that good stuff. But family, you know how it goes when you're on the road. Traveling all the time, the fame, the fortune. Well, shucks, maybe it is easier sometimes to sell that soul on the dotted line. And remember, once you sell out, you're going to do everything that you can. Hey, did you want to sell out as well? Because join the club. We want you to be here because we see the influence that you have without selling out to the system completely. So, this is a summarization of the black magic gang-a-stalking a ritual that basically everybody has to go through. And you're going to get to a point where they're going to offer you.
All right. Let me come back. So like I told y'all, it is getting real, honey. You know it's real when the white folks are coming out with their Illuminati theories, and they got all their little captions and their pictures and their evidence and their music clips. They have been dragging Jelly Roll, child. That was the worst thing he did at the Grammys, when he was like, I'm just a dumb redneck. And they went back and they pulled that damn video and they analyzed that shit. They've been coming for him and Bunnie ever since. Like I said, I think the part that's very disturbing, though, what kind of bothers me with all this, jokes aside, is it shows you how easy it is to infiltrate and be pushed, how a lot of things are no longer organic. And now you have to ask yourself, this is why I feel like the same way with MAGA. They use MAGA to infiltrate a lot of, Southern Christian churches and Southern Christian people. Before, you had people who were just regular, Republicans or more conservatives. But I feel like MAGA was like a psyop to take it up to the next level. And then they were able to bring in and mix in that Christianity with that white nationalism. I don't know if y'all are following me, if I'm making any sense. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I feel like if the same thing can happen with the music industry, the same thing can happen in politics and everything else. Because again, there's not even any regular Republican conservatives. Now it's like, if you're even Republican or conservative, you're automatically deemed MAGA. And to me, they were more of the extremists. And I felt like at some point in time, okay, y'all do, okay, good, I see the comments. I feel like at some point in time, Christianity has been infiltrated. Just like country music and everything else. It's been infiltrated by people who have nefarious intentions. And this is what I'm seeing with Jelly Roll. Yeah, the Christian nationalism, thank you, Verbal Beauty. Yeah, it's not like how it was before. Like I said, when we were growing up, you were allowed to have your own opinion. We didn't speak about politics. Who you voted for was your own thing. Now it's turned into a whole fucking cult. Let's call it what it is. It is a cult. It is insane. If you don't think like me, if you're not on my team, you're the bad guy. There's no in between. Look how divided we are. That's why I had no respect for him when he tried to come out and say that shit. That's why I'm glad I stood in my own two shoes and I stood 10 toes down. And I'm like, nah, I'm not buying that. You're not going to get off that easily by saying, oh, I don't know nothing about politics. I'm just a dumb redneck. A dumb redneck does not get as far as Jelly Roll has gotten in such a short amount of time. A dumb redneck is not going to be able to pull over his, coochie selling girlfriend or wife and get her one of the most popular podcasts in America. You don't go from being an escort and selling coochie to having one of the most popular podcasts. And then in the same breath, they're screaming that they're Christians. So I'm glad all this is being exposed. I'm here for all of this white on white crime. Yeah, like that just, listening to him say that we're infiltrating this from the inside out. If he can infiltrate, because like I said, he was a rapper. That's how I first was introduced to Jelly Roll. Big white boy rapping with his braids and stuff like that. And it's like, if he can infiltrate country music that easily, you can't tell me all this other stuff that's been going on has not been infiltrated. Let's not forget, like we spoke about 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Jeffrey Epstein, how it came out in those Epstein files that he was behind a lot of the stuff that we see on social media, a lot of the divisiveness. Remember the video that made Trump some type of savior? What was that video? Y'all gonna have to write it because I can't think of the name. The one that turned a lot of people MAGA. They were behind that video that went viral all over social media. I cannot think of the name. If you can think of it, write it. And I really feel like, this is really what's going on in the music industry at this point in time. I don't care if it's hip hop. I don't care if it's country. People are not grinding. People are being manufactured. And they're being put in front of us. QAnon. Thank you, Miss Vixen. Yes, the QAnon documentary. I don't know why I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, the QAnon. That came, Jeffrey Epstein helped to fund that. That was in the Epstein files. So a lot of people that are placed in front of us are not placed in front of us organically. A lot of people are placed in front of us because they're there to push an agenda. Let's not forget how influential music is. Music has the power to transform you. Music has the power to heal. Music also has the power to destroy. We've all watched Sinners. And you see how music played such an important part throughout that film. They can't get you unless you allow them in. Just like the vampires in Sinners. The music cannot get to you unless you allow it in. And so what better way than to allow somebody like Jelly Roll in than for them to clean him up, take him out of rap. He's a sinner just like all of us. He went to jail. He sold drugs. His mama was a crackhead. His wife used to sell coochie. And that's how they got a lot of folks, because of this sob story. It's true. He was in and out of jail. Bunnie did sell coochie. But it's almost like that redemption arc. Like if they made it out the trailer park, I can too. But it's all about them just making money. Because like somebody else said in another video, why is the first thing he did was to buy a bar? Let me see if I have that video. That's one of the first things he did when he got money. Yeah, this video here. Let's watch this real quick.
You will know them by their fruits, and I am sorry, #not sorry for whoever this triggers. Could someone please explain to me why the first thing that Jelly Roll did when he got into some money was build a bar in Nashville, Tennessee? Millions of people are praising him for his redemption story along with all of social media, but what the heck is this? Even open on Sundays, apparently. Now it's time for everybody to come into my comments saying, the Sabbath isn't on the Sunday, it's on the Saturday. Well, there's no rest for the wicked because luckily they're open on Saturdays too. Let's take a peek inside.
This floor is completely dedicated to his wife, Bunnie Xo. This floor has a larger-than-life portrait of his wife hanging over a huge bar, as well as a very spacious dance floor with nightclub-style lighting and even an area in the corner for bottle service. There's a Bunnie Xo photo op area and other...
What's this? What the heck is this? You guys are calling Christians hypocrites for holding Jelly Roll and his wife accountable for praising Jesus, but having...
Y'all see that? In hoes we trust. But this is the Christian couple that some of y'all were cussing me out about 3 weeks ago. But this is in his bar, In Hoes We Trust. And let's not forget, for y'all who have watched my deep dive on Hugh Hefner, put a teacup if you guys have seen that deep dive. Remember what I said about the rabbit symbolism. So isn't it interesting that the name that she goes by is Bunnie, which is another name for rabbit, XO. Okay? Even her logo has the bunny ears. And I broke that down in that deep dive. What the whole rabbit symbolism, all that stuff means, and why Hugh Hefner chose the rabbit symbolism. Let's continue.
Having built a bar in Nashville, Tennessee, like they need one, and having In Hoes We Trust, ew, gross, hypocritical. But that's not it, sadly. Just wait.
Roll and Bunnie Xo. Then on the 4th floor, you have an area that can be open to the public or closed for private events. This area is called Buddy's Back Room, and it pays tribute to Jelly Roll's late father, Buddy DeFord.
So on the way to a private VIP room, which, by the way, who knows how much debauchery goes on in there. A room that is...
Did you guys notice all the symbolism? The one-eye symbolism, the skull? Why would you have that if you're a Christian? Because again, this is their new grift. They're leaving country. They're a Christian couple now. What's up with all the skull imagery?
That is dedicated to your wife who worked in the industry but is in remembrance of your father. This is so odd. There is this sign. And this sign says halfway to heaven or halfway to hell. This literally feels like some fallen angel type stuff. But let's pretend like we don't see the spiritual warfare happening in this bar and finish the rest of the tour, shall we?
Pretty epic as well. The final floor is the 5th floor, which is an indoor-outdoor rooftop bar.
It's not odd to you guys at all that a man who praises Jesus all the time has more things about the devil in his bar than he does about the Jesus he serves. We're just going to ignore the spiritual warfare happening right now. Even if you did a little bit of research of what cherubs are, this is insane to me. They said it, not me. And you guys can come at me in the comments all that you want, but I got a really, really good gut feeling that you're all being played. You guys are being played.
So y'all just saw that video. That was an excellent breakdown by that young woman, you know. That's why, like I said, I was not feeling his Grammy speech. You're not going to hypnotize me because you're up there with the Bible and saying some sweet stuff, and then in the same breath trying to play into that you're a dumb redneck when you own bars and you own clubs. And a dummy doesn't have all this. Like, let's stop with the foolishness. So I'm glad that he's being called out because, again, if we can have all these videos breaking down the Illuminati connections in hip-hop and, you know, how Jay-Z's done this and Diddy's done that, I think it's about time that we start holding some of these corporate white entertainers accountable too. I mean, I do deep dives on them, but, you know, it's good to see the public finally listening to Ryan Upchurch because Ryan Upchurch has been, you know, he has his little issues, you know, but at least he owns his issues, you know. He's definitely not perfect, but he's been calling out Jelly Roll for a while now, for a few years. So it's very interesting to see, like, people are really going off about this situation. And especially, again, like the one gentleman says, who just jokingly talks about Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in conversations. Like, that's not a name you're just going to bring up unless you're condemning them or you're talking about the Epstein files. And this was before the Epstein files even came out. So it's like, what made you just sit and talk about Ghislaine and Jeffrey in that manner and say that, you know, basically your wife is your Ghislaine's Maxwell. She knows how to clean things up. That's a crazy comparison. A woman who sat there and helped to procure young girls and traffic young girls and abuse young girls and was there while many of these young girls were AR'd and had abortions and gave live births and that she helped to take the babies away from them. Insane. So yeah, it's a lot.
Want the latest news in the streets? Join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the LovelyTi TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the LovelyTi TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.